Welcome back to Couples Chronicles with your boy Lloyd.
And Afiya.
So we're married, but we don't always agree. But we've chosen to live a life full of love, laughter, and
respect.
So buckle up, tune in as we tackle our first chronicle for today.
Let's do it.
Here we go. First chronicle of the day is, how much influence should you allow your partner / significant other to have over your decision making?
I think when you're talking partner, you're talking partnership. And I think if you're not ready to invite someone else into your life to have an opinion or have an impact on those decisions, you're not really ready for partnership.
Cool. And I understand what you're saying, but what happens in those situations where you guys don't agree on the decision? Like, there's a lot of people who can give advice, but once their advice isn't taken, they draw back.
Yeah.
So in a relationship, it could become dicey. It could affect the relationship. Or how much power do you really allow? It's like, for me,
allow sounds very
no,
like
on
I'm
both
your parent.
sides. No, it's on both sides. When I say that, I mean we're both strong people, guys.
Right, but it's very much a give and take, right? When you talk partnership, relationship, like it's a give and take. You're never always going to agree, but the idea of a relationship and a partnership is that I hear you, you hear me, and then we meet in the middle and come to some type of agreement where we both feel heard.
Okay, okay, cool.
It can't, what I'm saying, it can't be seen as like a power dynamic. I feel like the way that you're speaking about it, it comes across as allowing your partner to have influence over you and your decisions. It seems like they have more power over you. And it's not a power struggle is what I'm saying.
Well, I guess when I posed the question, right? Or when I wrote the question rather, I'm thinking more of on the basis of topics that we both feel strongly about. At what point, in a relationship, can I say, no, I'm going to do it my way and it doesn't affect you? Or is that even possible?
Listen, I feel like my therapist once told me, and we always, I always refer back to counseling and to marriage counseling. And I definitely think everybody should do it. And she said one of the main ways to stay married is to have as little non-negotiables as possible. And that's what I think when I hear you speaking right now. Because I think if you're like, no, absolutely, that's not happening, you're pretty much ostracizing your partner and their thoughts and opinions and silencing them, right? And I think once you do that, ultimately, in my opinion, the only place that leads is to the demise of the relationship.
Yes.
Like, if you tell me, like, babe, if I bring something to your attention and to your concern, I'm like, hey, this is bothering me, and you pretty much say F you, not in layman terms, it literally F you, but you're pretty much saying, oh, well, or no, or you're not hearing me, you're not meeting me in the middle. The only place that leads to is for us to go our separate ways because it's not a partnership.
No, and I get that point, and you're absolutely correct. I'm talking more about like decisions. Like, I went to Catholic school, high school, and you went to public school, and me saying that I want our son to go to Catholic school, and then you're saying, no, I don't want my son because I'm Baptist. I'm talking about those type of like decision making, not necessarily an argument,
right?
Or I'm talking about like decisions. Do you want to have a joint bank account? Right. And I say I don't believe in that. Like those type of decisions. Or
I think
that's what I mean as far as
I think when it comes to every decision, right? It's about like welcoming your partner in to that decision, their thoughts, their opinions, In all instances, somebody's going to have to bend. Somebody's going to have to bend somewhere, somehow. It's a give and take, right? Mm-hmm. So to the example you talked about joint bank accounts, because that's very much a big thing in relationships, especially like when you go from like dating to married. Mm-hmm. It's something that comes up. I think, like, for us, like, we don't have a joint bank account, but he'll give me his card or his bank account information so I can spend his money as freely as I like, right? That works for us. I don't need to be, at that point, I don't need to, like, be joint on your account. Like, if I have access to all of your funds, I'm happy. Like, that. And it's not even, like, I don't overspend. Ask him. I buy groceries. I buy, Amazon stuff. He's like, what did you order from Amazon? And I ordered bubble bath for our son, or he needed socks or shirts. I'm frugal, so I don't OD, right? But I think in that instance, that is some type of like compromise. Like if I was like, no, I need to be on your account, and you were like, hey, I prefer our finances separate. How about this? How about, I give you access to my account. I can have a card, with your name on it, I think that that's a compromise, right? Like, and I think you're hearing my perspective on, well, why is it important that we have a joint bank account, right? Maybe you even open up a separate account with both our names on it that we both contribute to. Like, that's a fair compromise. So it's like you still have your account, I still have my account, and we have something that we're building together.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you 1,000. This is just open dialogue about, helping couples kind of navigate that situation, because I believe it's a big topic in more so specifically marriage.
Yeah.
Because I tell people, the one thing I tell people, like my cousin just got married, right? And, people, and we've been married now for 6 years.
Yeah.
Kudos for us. I think that's
it is.
Amazing. That's a long time. That's a long time.
Encourage your friends that are married, because everybody needs that encouragement. Like,
so they always ask me, like, what's the biggest difference? And I know it differs between individuals, but for me, I always explain. I think I've said this to you before. I've always explained it as, for some reason, I don't even know why, but for some reason, when you get married, it gives the other person more power over like your decision making. Like, they really have say in what you do and don't do. I'm not talking about first level surface things, me driving to the store, playing basketball on the weekends. Yeah. I'm talking about your finances, stuff that really matter.
Yeah, like you moving
to a different country, a different state.
Yeah,
stuff that really
taking a job in another state
really matters.
Yeah,
that's where it becomes us.
Yes,
and not just me no more. I think that's to me. Yeah. That's the biggest change in dating versus marriage.
Yeah.
So like that's where this question stems from. Like those hard toe decisions that you have to make that I may really feel strong about. Again, this is not that we have going on. I'm really just like, how do you navigate? I don't think we've hit one of those points in a relationship yet.
I think because you're very easygoing and I'm very strong about a lot of things. And so I think because of that, it's a good balance. I think if I'm very passionate about something, you're very much like, she tripping. It's not that deep. Like that's how I think I think in most instances, you're just like, in your mind, even if you don't like say it out loud, you're very like, it's going to be okay. Versus me, I'm very strong in my thoughts and my opinions and, how I want things done. And, I think it's just about balance. But like I said, I just genuinely, agree with you. And I think, like I said, it comes down to hearing your partner, inviting them into those decisions. And ultimately, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, honestly, if you want to move to Africa for 10 years to do whatever, like, baby, and I don't want to move to Africa, that's something you're gonna have to do.
Get married.
Like, don't get married. Yeah, plans. Like if you have these plans or you're thinking about it or you're open to it or whatever, like those things directly impact someone else. I met a couple recently in Paris and literally randomly at a hookah lounge because my phone died and the guy said he was gonna charge my phone for me. But like they were cool. Like she moved. He was a basketball player, played overseas. She moved her and her 2 kids, and she's been traveling with him. Mm-hmm. Her, like, their entire marriage. Like, literally, their 2 kids, and she has nothing else. She doesn't have, any, like, stable friends. The kids, every time he moves, they pick up and move. Like, and it works for her. It's a life that she chose, but it was something that she was open to. Somebody else might not be open to that. Like, somebody else might be like, you know what? That's the life that best suits you. I want something very stable, right? Like, those are conversations. Like I said, I think when you're dating, you're going back to the drawing board and saying, well, where do you see us living? What is the type of future that you see us happening? Because these are things that will come up, right? Like, I think even when you're talking about getting serious with somebody, like you said, have those conversations about finance. Where do you see yourself living? How many kids do you want? Do you want more kids? Are you closed off to kids? What happens if I change my mind? Because I think, like from what I've seen, especially with some of our other couples, friends that are married, like people change their mind all the time. Oh, I didn't want no kids. Now I want 3. What? Like that's a huge, oh, I wanted 2 kids. Now I want 3. What? Like, they're like literally it is something that has consistently come up, and I think, just understanding how flexible you are. Like, are you willing to really do life with me? And I think that like that trumps kind of, the heart of, or that's at the center of, the decision making and allowing each person to kind of have influence. Like, are we in this together? Like, are you really willing to do life with me? Like, what does that look like? Like, are you rocking with me? Like,
so it sounds
if you say you want to go to Miami right now, I'm gonna rock with you. Even if you say you want to go to Africa, I might rock with you for like a year. I'll be all right, cool. But can we bring my mama? Like, what does that look like?
I said let's go to LA for 1 year. You told me.
No, I said I will go to. I said I will go with you.
I was gonna go chase acting. Remember, and I was like, I had just left my modeling agency. And I was like, you know what? Before I get signed to another agency, let's go to LA. And then she gave me a good reason why.
I told him to educate himself. I believe in education. I came from 9-to-5 parents that have multiple degrees, both of them. And so I formally believe, listen, if you want to go to LA and chase acting, no problem. But like, educate yourself. Go to, a top acting school so that when you go to LA, you have something that you can show these people outside of a dollar and a dream.
Very true. And again, I listened and I said, you know what? I did the programs. And I'm not moving to LA still. Business, life told me otherwise.
Yeah.
But so it sounds to me after talking this out with you that it really comes down to how much the two people want to be together.
Yes.
It's how much they actually allow, quote unquote, because of the question.
And I think just taking out this
the word allow that bothers you okay, so change the word, because it really is bothering. When I say you could take out allow, how much influence should your partner have over your decision making? I just said allowed because you have to allow it.
Yeah,
that's why I said it wasn't on a power thing. But so let's take out the word. It sounds like for the question, how much influence should your partner have on your decision making? It comes down to how much you really want the relationship to work at the end of the day.
That's it. Like, and I think should you allow stems from the idea of partnership, like union. Like, are we one? Are we a team? Are you really rocking out with me? Like, I think if we're both in that mindset, you're hearing my thoughts and opinions. I'm hearing your thoughts and opinions. If we're moving for a year, what's the plan when we come back? How will we sustain? How can I still chase my dreams and aspirations during that year when you move to Africa? Like, my mom, I remember when I had my son Cairo, and she asked me, Afiya, what are you most nervous about? And I told her my breast. And I was like, because I've always had huge breasts, and they're always been an issue already in modeling. And I was like, oh my God, like if I have a kid and my breasts get any bigger, like, it could be like the end of my career. And she was like, don't worry about that. Like that could be handled. Okay. Like she heard me, you know what I mean? And I think it just really boils down to like hearing your partner and hearing their concerns and like listening, like not just hearing, because you like to say, I heard you. What you say? What do you like to say? I hear you, right? But hear you and actually understanding and receiving what your partner is saying and allowing it to impact your decisions is completely different. So I think, that's really kind of, as at the heart of this. But
awesome. Well, let us know, like always, guys, if you've ever been in that type of a tug of war with a partner about a decision.
It's not a tug of war.
It can be, though. It's just realistic.
Yeah.
Like, because you feel one way, your partner feel the other way. It is a tug of war until you come to some type of compromise or understanding. So let us know if you what particular decision that you had to make, because I'm sure there are some decisions that's not always so like easy going. Or so let's just share with us those topics. I want to know and how you handle them.
I had a friend. My cousin just told me her friend. She had 2 kids. They agreed on 2 kids. Walked into the relationship. They agreed on 2 kids. She got pregnant with a 3rd. He didn't want it. She got an abortion. She got pregnant with a 4th. He didn't want it. She kept it. He didn't talk to her the whole pregnancy. Now she want a divorce. Abso-fucking-lutely. Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
All right. Next topic.
Okay. How much How much should your past matter, and what should you do if you find out about an undesirable past after the fact?
Man, I think we kind of talked about this in one of our earlier um episodes about past. Should the past really matter, right? And what brought this question up, right, is a trending topic. I think we all either, I don't really care about it, but you see it on Instagram.
Oh, I've been following it.
Yeah, she's been definitely following
I've been
it.
into
She kept me updated.
Every TikTok.
The Puff Daddy case, right?
Diddy.
So you've been seeing all these memes or TikToks or Instagram posts over the support of Alex. If you don't know who Alex is, it's Cassie's husband.
Yeah.
Still her husband. And all these things that he's finding out that I don't even know if she told him all these things or he assumed all these things prior to. Right. But it's one thing to think or know in the back of your head. It's one thing to actually know when it's being told in front of you, right? So you might have thought, you might have dated a promiscuous woman back in the day, and it's like, I don't know. But now you have guys telling you exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Now you're looking sideways. So anyway, all these women were giving him praise for sticking by his wife, as he should, right? Mm-hmm. On paper, he should. Mm-hmm. Everybody was like, I want me a man like Alex, going through giving him his praises. But how does Alex really feel, and how should he respond to all the new findings of his current wife?
I think it's an assumption that these are new findings, right?
Like, that is an assumption. Right. That's why I said I don't know if she told him or not.
Right. I think it's an assumption that she hasn't told him. I also transparently, I have to put myself in her shoes, right? Like, if you're in a federal case, you can't tell me that she didn't have these conversations with him beforehand because, hey, listen, these are the things that's going to come out in trial. This is what happened. And I want to be able to tell you first before the world knows or before, you find out in the media.
Tough pill to swallow.
It is because it's also like you always talk about the embarrassment with social media, right?
Now people know.
Because now people know. Mm-hmm. And it's also like, okay, it's one thing if we're dealing with the thing behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. It's another thing if we're dealing with this in public and everybody's, thoughts and opinions kind of are able to chime in. So I think specifically in this case, like I said, I'm going to give her not even the benefit of the doubt because that's her trauma, right? Like, I think when I hear this story, and see the video of Diddy attempting to kill her, don't get me started, that, I just see trauma and, I pray for her healing. But I think when it comes to Alex, like I said, I just have to kind of choose to believe that that he was in the know of, even if it wasn't the full story, that she gave him insight to at least part of the story.
So let's say he didn't know.
Right.
And then we're in court now and everybody's doing their, and they're releasing now what to do. How it does should that matter? I mean, we're all human, right? It has to have an effect. It has to have an effect on him. Like,
I think it has to be met with grace. I think honestly, that yes, grace. And I always say this, right? Because I think that
I'm gonna say a line from Shannon Sharp. Hold up, grace is in the Bible. I'm not in there.
Oh boy, listen, here we go.
That's a lot. That's a lot of grace.
No,
I think only God and Alex at this point has that grace, and I don't even know if it's gonna work. I want to know. I want to see if they're actually still together after this case. That's a lot to unpack. That's a lot to swallow.
She just had her third child by him.
Doesn't matter. I don't think that matters. But go ahead. Sorry.
I like I said, I think once CNN released the video of Diddy attempting to kill her, I think
we're talking about the sexual.
Right, but if you've been following the case, you know that a lot of the sexual acts or I'm not even going to use the word coerced. I'm just going to say a lot of them stemmed, or included the abuse, inflicted by Diddy. So I like I said, I think, in my personal opinion, if I had to put myself in Alex's shoes.
No, I'm going to put you in, I'm going to put you in Alex's shoes right now. I love to do that.
Sure. Let me hear it.
So.
He loved to hit me with a double standard.
Because, and not a double standard, I like to put you really in the situation, because then I think views and perspective changes when you're actually in it. So you find out 2 months from now that I was a porn star. somehow I hid this from you, and an old video come up that I'm a porn star, or I was a escort, and I was having all this crazy sexual thing with all these women. This is like, let's say we've been together now 10 years ago. So this was 10 years ago. How does that change your perspective of me? We have a kid now. Like you said, she's on her third, but we have a kid. And you find out some nasty stuff about me.
Right.
How does that affect you?
I think it depends, right? Like, I think
I was in freak offs.
Right. No, but I think are you saying like, and I don't mean no disrespect when I say this, but I think are you still heterosexual? Like, are you now homosexual?
That's another topic too, right? That's another.
I think if your sexuality,
I wasn't even going there, but that's a different. Thing.
I think
let's say straight. All
right. So if we're sticking like, if your sexuality didn't change, right? I think my initial reaction would be like, damn, you're a porn star. Why you show me them tricks, right? Like,
really?
I think that would be like my first. Like, I would kind of like, damn, that's crazy. I think second, right? Like, when we first started dating, the first thing I asked you, or not you, or anybody that dates, to get tested. I made you get tested, right? So I know you're not bringing anything sexual, like a sexual transmitted disease or anything to me. So my first thought, is
I'm safe,
right? Are you safe? Like, are you bringing anything that's going to kill me? Like you know me. So like that would be my first thought. My second thought, like, okay. Do you have any, like, are you like a sex addict, right? Like, I think, like, you have to start to unpack these things. I don't know. Like, I think as long as, like, you're still, like,
I'm the
hetero.
person I am today.
Yes.
Still, but my past.
Yeah, I think as long as it, like, your sexuality didn't change, per se, I couldn't see me walking away from our marriage because I haven't seen any of those things come up in our current relationship. Also, too, unfortunately, like a double standard, there are plenty of women where they've dated guys and they were hoes, right? They've had many sexual partners. Even guys get praised for having many sexual partners. Like, we saw one guy on Love Island. He lied about his his body count, because he thought it would make him seem, better than he was. And it didn't. It made him seem like a goofball. But like I said, like I think it's a norm in society for men to have a lot of sexual partners. I think on the flip side, when it comes to women, I think if a woman has a lot of sexual partners, she's demonized. She's looked at as a hoe, a slut. But a guy, it's considered the norm. So personally, like, I don't think that, in my opinion, I can't speak for other women, but I think if I found out, you know what I mean, maybe you was a porn star, I think as long as, I'd be like, damn, that's crazy. And then I would have, like, well, what tricks you got? What you know what I'm saying? What you learn? Like, what you
in our current relationship right now, cool. This is you find out on your own.
Yeah.
What if now this video was leaked to the world? These videos just started popping up.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's just you guys.
How does it affect you? You good?
I think you. I don't know.
I mean, I'm happy. I'm not telling you to leave me. I'm just asking. Like, if you sit here saying today that didn't affect you, not that it wouldn't affect you, you're human. You're gonna have some feelings about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna. I don't know. I can't. Like I said, I think for me personally, like it's more. Yeah, it's more so. I think the sexuality.
So if I was out here screwing men, then it was a wrap. So that's where you draw the line.
Yeah, that's like me. It's over. Like, sign the dotted line. Like, it's no coming back. Yeah, it's no for me. That's the I think. If you had a lot of, women sexual partners, like I said, I know going into the relationship that you're not bringing any type of sexual disease my way. So, like, I don't have to worry about that, but I think as long as it's not like, okay, I'm a sex addict. Some men are sex addicts. Like, is that secretly a demon that you're facing? Like, I would need to know that. Like,
I'm trying to let me put myself in Alex's shoes for a moment. On the earlier episodes, I've said that past doesn't really bother me, right? And I could take a lot of stuff. I'm not really I could care less what people say most of the time. 97% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If I was in Alex's shoes in the middle of this DD trial, and I didn't know all these things that transpired, I may have to rethink. I don't want to say rethink the marriage. I would have to go into deep thought about it, because first off, the first thing that comes to my mind is not necessarily the acts, right? It's like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
This person who again, people change, right? So don't get me wrong. But this person who we are today, people change. You wasn't that same person when you was with Diddy. These acts just don't, the need to want to do these acts, the ability to go through with these type of acts and be in these type of situations, these type of engagements, these type of entanglements, doesn't just go away. So I would first, whether it's right or wrong, because people do change, I would first think that you're acting with me and this is not who you truly are. I would think that I don't want to call it some deep perversion. You're just a freak, and which is fine, I don't want to say freak because it's good to be a freak, but you know what I mean? This is next level. I would first think that, and the person who I married isn't, I would think that that's your true self. That's the first thing. Secondly, again, I'm the person that don't really care what people say, but in this situation where the whole world is now tracking and some of these descriptive things that was going on, I can't sit here today, I'll be lying, and tell you that it wouldn't bother me. Me personally, I think I said this to somebody before, I will go through the whole court case, trial. I would go through the whole trial and support her because she is my wife and I've grown to love you, right? Because I have 3 kids with you. So I would definitely support you, be at your back, hold your hands down the street and walk. But I think when the trial was over, therapy, something like therapy, I'm going to need something, or I don't know if I could actually view you and look at you the same. I can't look at your eyes the same.
Imagine that.
I'm just being honest. I'm being as honest as I can.
Imagine being in a traumatic relationship for 10 years, getting the courage
to get out,
moving on with your life, getting married, having 3 kids, and then your husband potentially leaving you for the traumatic relationship
that you had. It's tough. That's why I brought up the question. I never said it was right or wrong. I'm posing the question wasn't if it was right or wrong.
Yeah.
The question was,
I think a big part of it, right, stems from, it seems like from hearing you that she wanted a lot of or most of the situation.
It happened. Now is my response to what happened.
Right, but the reason why I say that is because you're saying that it's a part of who she is or who she was potentially.
Initially, that's the first thought. I'm not saying it is.
Right, but that's assuming that she wasn't happy to get away
or change.
Right, because like asking the question of like, okay, are you still that person? Are you acting means that she was happy to be in the situation that she was and she's like covering up, or who she is now is potentially a facade. And I think, if you shift your mindset to a place of, she was trying to get out of that situation, or that wasn't a situation that she actually wanted to be in, then we'll be like, hey, no, like this is who I am. And I spent a decade of my life trying to get out of that former situation. And I was acting in that situation. You understand? I think you would have to kind of like switch the narrative and say, well, she was acting here and this is who she really is and this is the life that she really wants. At one point, I remember,
want to believe that, but I don't know if I could believe that is what I'm saying.
At one point during the trial, I remember they brought up a point where, Cassie, I guess, could either considered suicide, and she genuinely asked her husband, like, hey, like, can you
Alex?
do this? Yeah, okay. She asked him, could you do this without me? Because she was so haunted.
During the trial, this happened during the trial. Okay.
She was so haunted by her former experiences, like that it just, it wouldn't leave her. Like they talked about like her drug use and like how she would use drugs to kind of cope with, a lot of her experiences with Diddy. And now like you're sober, right? So like a lot of people use drugs to run from their reality. And now she's dealing with her reality. And even therapy forces you to face everything that you've spent so long running from. And so she got to the point where she asked her husband, hey, listen, like, I'm not sure I can do this. Would you, be able to raise our daughters by himself. Excuse me. And so, I think it just really takes a shift in mindset and say, okay, well, this is who she really is. Being married, having 3 kids is the life that she really wants. And she was, putting on a facade for Diddy in order to appease him and be with him,
So one last point before we move on, because topic 3. The only reason I pose it that way as well too is because in those findings, in those fine things,
yeah,
it was a situation where she left Diddy and she was with Kid Cudi. Again, this is stuff that I've been following, guys. And she was still contacting Diddy when she was with Kid Cudi trying to do freak offs. So in my head, again, I'm with you for how many years they've been married? Oh, 3 kids, whatever that number of years is. Have you contacted Diddy in this time?
Yeah.
Because you did that once you got away from Diddy with Kid Cudi and you went back and asked for these things. So like, again, that would have been my initial thought. Right. Like, is this, are you done with this, or am I stifling the real you and stuff like that? But again,
I understand your concerns. And you really never know, right? Like, I'm not Cassie. I can't speak on her behalf. I'm not, I've met Cassie. I haven't met Alex, but I don't know, man. I think it's just such a, nobody really, you have to be a fly on the wall. You know what I mean? You have to be a fly on the wall. Like, I think a lot of thoughts and opinions have come into the fact that, like, when the abuse started, like, I remember I was watching this TikTok with another model, Eugenia, and she was saying, the freak offs are normal. They're normalized in
it's a normal thing.
Yeah, in entertainment. In Hollywood, yeah, she's like, the freak offs are normal. She's like, when it becomes illegal is, when he started abusing her and he started, using, hiring, sex workers, and started using like her career as leverage to get, her to participate in certain things, and then you're thinking about your career, your finances, your home. When you start telling, her mom to send me $20,000 or I'm releasing a sex tape, like, that's manipulation. Like, like, all of those things is when it becomes illegal, but I think the freak offs and the sex parties, that's a frequent, thing that actually exists in LA.
It's probably a freak off going on right now.
I know. But I don't know. We gotta stay tuned to kind of see how the trial kind of ends. But definitely keep Cassie in my prayers, and Alex too.
All right, cool. So again, like, guys, let us know how much does that past really matter, and
y'all sticking around or not?
Yeah, depending on how undesirable it is. Anyway, I think this is gonna be our last topic for today, and this one I've seen floating around. I personally disagree with it, but apparently more people agree with this than the other side. So, is it inappropriate for your friend to be in communication with your significant other and partner, or how much communication? I'm gonna use the word. I'm not gonna use allow again because that's gonna trigger. Should your partner have with your, I won't say your best friend, but let's say with your significant other friends, quote unquote.
I just think it's how much they're talking, right? Okay. I think that's what it boils down to. Like, if you're talking to my man more than I am, that's an issue. Even if you're talking to him a fraction of as much as I am, that's an issue. And it's not even like trusting, is more of a boundaries thing. I think if you're like writing my husband to say happy Father's Day, happy birthday, congratulations, even if you're concerned about me, that's one thing, but I think if you're hitting him up like, how's your day going? It's an issue.
So, okay, so it's a matter. Okay, so I'm gonna go with me. I'm gonna go with the type of person I am. Me. We have a friend that you call a lot. Right? You have a friend? Devon. I can say his name. It's fine. What's up, my bro? It doesn't bother me. I know, like, you call him about work, or you call him about things, or my wife is very much the girl that could hang around guys, and she as feminine and as soft as she is, she's very comfortable in a room full of guys. Might be more comfortable in a room full of guys and talking. I'm okay with that.
Okay. Devon is a mutual friend, is he not? He's
yes, but that's what I say. Yes, but still, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a problem with you reaching out to him.
Yeah.
The number of people I've heard saying, no, I don't want my partner in any communication with my friend, makes me think, what type of partner or what type of friend do you have? Yeah. If you have to, don't get me wrong, I'm not dumb. I'm not saying that things can't or haven't happened in that type of situation.
Yeah.
But that's not, I have to put you and my friend on a leash in order to make sure nothing don't happen, then I can't really trust you as a friend or trust you as my partner.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I don't know, blind.
Naive.
Not yeah. What did I say? What did I say?
You said naive.
No, there's no way I said naive.
Yeah, you said naive.
maybe I'm naive. I don't think I said it. Anyway.
You did say naive.
Maybe I'm naive, but see, naive is probably came out. But am I blind for thinking that way? Like, I have no problem for that. It's been plenty of times I come in the house and you talking to the phone. I have no problem with that.
Plenty?
Baby, y'all talk.
But we're friends.
I know. I'm not saying that to say I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but like, okay, I think it depends on every relationship is, I think it depends on like the relationship or the friendship. I think you know what it is.
I would say if you come home and you see me on the phone with one of your girlfriends, though.
Yeah,
you'll feel the way.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I'm real,
Okay, so explain that to me. So it seems like you're on that part again.
No, it's not that. I just don't want to share you.
So
don't worry, I say the same thing to my son. He said, "Mommy, that's rude." I was like, "Yeah, tell me about it."
So okay. Again, guys, I'm again, maybe I'm naive. Mm-hmm. We've been together for 10 years. Mm-hmm. We've known, I'm gonna just use Devon because he's the most people that we're in contact with together. We've been friends with Devon now probably 5 years. 5 years. Okay. No, so we've been married 6 years. So 6 to 7 years.
It gotta be because he came to our wedding.
He came to our wedding. So like
our wedding.
7 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Damn, time is flying.
Time is flying. You've developed, like you said, we've developed a friendship with him.
Yeah.
You're not calling him. I mean, what shouldn't you be able to, as it relates to like, if you're having issues in the industry, like Cans, you have the thing with Cans, a director, and you call him and to get his perspective on that. It makes sense. Like what is what's inappropriate and what's appropriate to have a conversation. I don't think it should be I don't know.
I think it's tricky, right?
Yeah,
like I think it's tricky because for starters, right? I think because we're on a recorded show, like I don't talk to all his friends.
No,
like,
I never said all my friends.
I think we have one mutual friend, and that's what he's talking about. But like all of his other friends, I don't communicate with unless it's Father's Day or his birthday, right? So I think just from an audience perspective, I think it's important to like understand that. Like I'm not in contact with like his other multitude of friends.
And like, just for audience, bro, I don't have a problem with it.
No, but I'm not. But it's important context wise, right? I think the one friend that he's referring to, he will call me about his girls. Right?
I know.
It's not one way, right? Like I
never said it was one way.
A lot of like we also do like a lot of business together. I will hire his company to film something, for me, or like some of it is friendship, some of it is business too. But also too, there still is boundaries. I don't call him every day, but like, hi, good morning. Like it's not like
that's inappropriate, but that's like to me the common sense thing. Like I'm not. Again, me personally, I want peace. So I'm not calling any of your friends on anything. I don't even say happy.
That's weird. I think that's weird.
Tiana, happy birthday. Congratulations. She just got engaged.
Yeah, but I think that's weird. I keep it
there.
I think it's weird because it's almost like, I think also denied that there's so many layers to this friend that he's like bringing up right now. First of all, he lives in our building. Like his son used to work for me. He's always at my house. My husband is always at his house. Like, it's almost like we're like friends, but we're neighbors. So it's the proximity that we're in. Like, even that, right? Because I understand. Because I think for me, like what I want, like my girlfriend's like talking to my husband.
I know for a fact none. Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, like it's like hi and bye. It was funny. Yeah, it's like that's it. Like I don't know, but I don't know. Like I said, I think for me, I think conversations should obviously, have boundaries on them. I'm not saying, you should be afraid to talk to your partner's husband, but like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what's there to talk about? And if you have something to ask him, you can ask me. That sounds crazy, right? A little crazy.
No, again, even
in respecting one of my sorors, I text her and said, tell your husband I said, Happy Father's Day. If that's not respect, I don't know what it is.
But you don't have her husband's number.
I could DM him. I could DM him.
So you feel like that's...
I could have slid in his DM.
It's inappropriate
no,
to
it's
DM
not even. It's not even an inappropriate thing. It's more so I have so much respect for you that even if I want to say happy birthday or happy Father's Day, I'm going to contact you and send the love through you. I think that's boundaries. That's respect. And I would want the same thing. Like, I think, like he said, like, I think, like, outside of this one friend, like, I'm not contacting your friends. Like, for
so
what?
If one of your friends DM me Happy Father's Day.
No, I don't. I mean, Happy Father's Day is fine, but like, I'm just saying for me, most times, like, I try to operate, you know, from a place of like respect and boundaries. And like me, like, I'm such an in my feelings type of person, or like take things like, you know, like, what you doing? Like, and I'm just so direct about it. Like, don't dance in front of my husband. You too close. Like, I am. And I've said that to one of my close friends.
I know, you
like,
brought that up before.
Like, why you, no, you're doing too much.
I didn't even know the situation. I don't even know the situation.
You doing too much. Like,
I don't talking about in this situation. But I think the context of this question was a friend that is around all the time. Obviously, if it's just a random friend that y'all don't talk while you're having conversations. But if this person is that's why they said like a best friend or a close friend that you both guys are around.
I'm going to tell my mother.
Here we go.
My mother and my father have been married for 40 years.
Here we go.
My mother, when I got married, let me tell you, she said, don't be having these women in your house. It don't matter. Okay. And I don't even mean to be like that. I'm not even saying don't have these women in your house. They've been married 40 years. Okay. Ain't been no problems. 40 years. My aunt and uncle, same thing. Keep these women out of your house. It doesn't mean that you can't have friends. It doesn't mean that, you know, friendships are not important, but it should be separate. Your relationship with your family, your child, or your husband, like, that should be sacred. Like, and you should have your girlfriends and your friendships, and like the two, you don't need to be in my house.
So you agree with the... So answer the question.
Like, I don't have... What friends do I have in my house? None of my girlfriends come over.
I don't talk to none of your friends.
But I'm just saying, none of my girlfriends come over. None of them in my house. Not one. He can't name one. Literally, he cannot name one.
I can't name one.
That comes over to my house
all the time. I haven't been there in a while. Geneva?
Yeah, that's like my best friend, but she doesn't come over.
But that's what we're talking about here. Like, that type of... I mean, she don't come over no more. But, again, it's, you know... So answer the question. I want you to answer the question. In your term. And like, say it so I could hear what you really want to... What's the question? Is it inappropriate for your friend to be in communication with your significant other or partner?
I think the communication should be led and met with boundaries. I don't think that you should be talking to my husband frequently.
What's frequent?
You should not be texting him good morning. How's your day? or good night. How was your day?
That's OD.
Did you have a good day?
Y'all in a relationship at that point.
And now I have a problem.
No, you should have a problem. That's OD.
Like, what are you guys communicating about? I think if it's Happy Father's Day.
If she's having, like, if one of your friends, like, for instance, I'm you know, Tiana, if you're watching, you know, I'm just using this because, let's say Tiana called or DM me and was like, you know, I want your help with something because she just recently got engaged. What are your thoughts on this as it pertains to her? Would you? Okay, fine. But do you think that's inappropriate? You can say yes. It's not right or wrong. I just want to know because I think differently.
I think, like, what do you need your help? First of all, I think
as it pertains to him, it pertains to the guy.
I think she would ask me first.
She would ask you first?
I think you should ask me first. I'm going to be transparent. I think you should ask me first. I think if you're my friend, if you want anything to do with my husband, I think out of respect, you should ask me first because I'm never going to go to your husband or your partner to communicate about you unless it's a surprise birthday party.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, unless it's that, like, I'm not going to them to talk about you. Like, I think, you know, there should be boundaries. Like, those are your friends. These are my friends. Like,
again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you. There should be boundaries. And on you know, I would like to say, well, I'm not calling
your friends to get updates on their girls. Like, oh, how's your girlfriend? I mean, I might do that with Devon.
You see what I'm saying?
But his life is interesting. He lives downstairs. Like, he lives like 2 floors down. Like, you know, he always calls with some melee. Like, he'd be like, yo, sis, let me tell you what happened. Like, he should write a book. Like, you know.
There should be boundaries. That's what I'm talking about. Again, I think a little differently. Again, maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm too naive. Maybe I'm too trusting.
I don't even think it's naive. I don't even think it's a naive. Listen, I'm always going to, in most situations, put myself in your shoes, right? Like, in most instances. So it's just, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to do anything that's like, okay, if I stop and reflect, like, would this really make me feel some type of way? But, I wouldn't have, like, I don't know. I just don't have people in my house. Like, it's like, I don't have nobody over there. Nobody comes to my house. You're not invited. Even like my birthday,
Except
the birthday.
Devon.
Yeah, and Devon come over, Devon is like Roger, like, he's like the neighbor, like, he lives right there. He's always there, which is fine. Like, Devon is my bro. But it's just like outside of that, like, no, it's not, I don't have any, female friends that come over where it's like you guys are in close proximity. I don't want that. I'm gonna be honest too. I don't want that. I don't care to have nobody in my house. I don't like, this is my house. This is my kid. This is my husband. Like, this is my sacred space and my family. Like, I don't care to have like another woman in that space. Like, don't come in my house, in my fridge, talk about you on breakfast. Girl, go home. Like, and I don't even think, I think that's another boundary thing. Like, I just think there should be boundaries. And I think you need to have friends and family that like operate within those boundaries. Like, I think that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with having, because I don't go to any other friend's house and like, oh, hey girl, I'm coming to none of them. I don't go to any of my friends' house. Like, hey girl, I'm coming over just to chill. Not one. Like, none of them, actually. So I'm not even doing something. I'm not asking something that I myself then do. And then I'm a hypocrite. But whatever works for you guys.
All right. So let us know if you think it's inappropriate, or what level of communication is appropriate. And I'm not talking about just happy birthday, happy Father's Day. I'm talking about,
I think,
a conversation. Is it appropriate? Is it inappropriate? Let me know
what's even more interesting as we close out, because we're wrapping up, is there are some people that have friendships where they don't trust the person around their man, but they're still friends with them.
Shouldn't be
I agree. I agree. That I agree. But why is that? Like, I think that dynamic is even more strange to me. Like, if I can't trust you around my man.
That's my point. That's my full on point.
Yeah.
If I can't trust
funny, man.
both of you guys
men
around
too.
anybody.
I'm not even just going to say women. Like, people
just
are
anybody.
funny.
Just anybody. If I can't trust both of you guys around each other.
Yeah.
Are you really my friend?
Right.
Are you really my wife?
But sometimes people are not. Sometimes they're just waiting. Sometimes people be jealous, man. Women, men, sometimes they be jealous. It's like, oh, you got a good thing, you not taking care of her. Or you got a good man, you not taking care of him. People are funny. You don't really know. And I always say this to you. We had this conversation when it came to Keisha Kaur and Gucci Mane. You don't really know, the mental state or somebody's actual thoughts. So like having them like in your home, now you're like exposing the most precious, sacred, important people in your life to someone else. I like to protect that. Like, I want to protect my family. I want to protect my union with you. I want to protect my son, and our future kids. Like, I don't want to have to kill nobody.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
don't go to jail. I don't want to raise kids by myself. All right, close us out.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Couples Chronicles with
your boy Lloyd
and Afiya. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share.
See you guys next time. Peace.